Hey friends, it's good to be back with you. In this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for my channel. I know other people have done it on their channels, but I'm going to be reading a book and then watching the movie. I hope to do like a kind of a series on this. We'll see how that goes. Usually, I'm weird, don't come at me, but I usually like to watch the movie first and then read the book. But since I had already seen this movie before, granted it had been a long time ago, I decided to read the book first and then watch the movie. So, maybe in other videos, depending on if I've seen the movie or not, I might do that. But we'll see. But so yeah, I just wanted to preface that. Also, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. I kind of vlogged my way through this, lightweight vlogged through this, so I will show you the video and then I will come back and share my thoughts after you see this. So, if that makes sense. So yeah, I talk about the book a little bit and the movie, and then I'll just come back and share some final thoughts. Also, I think I said in my clip that I'm going to show next, I think I say that like, oh, no spoilers, but then eventually I decide that I'm just going to spoil a thing. So if you don't want spoilers for I Know What You Did Last Summer, maybe skip it. Anywho, so I'm gonna just show you the footage. So I wanted to update you on my reading process of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm almost finished, but I did have some thoughts that I wanted to share before I finished the book. So far, the only thing that I've really noticed is, so if you don't know what I Know What You Did Last Summer is about, it's about 4 teens who something happens last summer, and then someone, it's like I don't know if it's a mystery of like what they did, but like I won't say. I mean, they did something bad, and so now someone's coming back and like saying they knew what they did last summer. Wow, it's really hard. So, first like thing that I've noticed about it is I'm really loving it. Like I'm really enjoying it. I know that this book is not for everybody. Like I totally can pick up on that already. My cat's just staring at the corner of my bedroom. Anyway, so what I know this book is not for everybody. It is dated. It was It was written in the 70s. So I think there's some things that are missing or whatnot. To me, it's very reminiscent. When I was a middle school or something, I read these R.L. Stine books that were made for teenagers, and they were mysteries. And I really enjoyed them because they weren't like very scary, but they were like intriguing, and if you're getting into like suspense and thriller, they weren't too bad. This feels a lot like that. I was expecting it to be very gruesome. I was expecting there to be a whole lot of language. There's none of that. And I think from what I expected that because from what I remember, the movie is that way. But I also am going to go, obviously, back and watch the movie after I finish this. But I was expecting it to have a whole lot of language, and I was expecting it to be gruesome and very scary, and it's none of those things. It's not scary. Like, the front of it says a high-velocity chiller, and then the back says a taut, skillfully plotted, and suspenseful thriller. To me, it's a mystery, like, pure and simple. There's nothing thrilling about it, per se. But it is intriguing. Like, I'm really, like, interested in the mystery, and I'm curious to see what happens. But there's to me, and I'm not very well versed in the thriller genre, but to me there's nothing thrilling. Like, there's no scary parts or anything that I would expect in a thriller, and especially since the movie, I feel like, is more scary. I was expecting something way different. But with all that said, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm liking it way better than I thought I was going to like it, so there's that. But I hope to check in with you sooner. I might check in with you when I finish the book. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, bye. So I finished it. So this book follows 4 teens who, they're driving in the car one night and they accidentally hit a boy, and they all want to turn around, but the one that's driving doesn't want to turn around. And so the boy dies, and then their lives have all kind of changed since then. And they, they're trying to move on and figure out, but they're all not friends anymore. They can't really, they're trying to space themselves away from the incident and go to college out of town and whatnot. And then in the summertime, they get notes and letters and newspaper clippings that say, I know what you did last summer. And they're freaking out and they're trying to figure out who's sending them the letters. I really liked this, a lot of it, for what it was. So I really didn't like one of the main characters, Barry, was just like an horrendous character. And I think he was supposed to be, because then like later on throughout the book he like has character development, but he's really like an awful character. And then one of the girl's sisters is just another like one of those characters that's just like awful. So those were like there was a couple characters that were really like just awful people. And then, I mean, Barry kind of comes around and but he basically was just not a very, he gets shot at one point, which I totally thought he deserved. And then they think he's going to be paralyzed, and when he thinks he's going to be paralyzed, he basically just was like, the guy can go kill them all, I don't even really care. And I'm like, yeah, so there's a couple characters I didn't really like, but I mean, and it's a story, you're not always gonna like every character, but I did enjoy the story as a whole, for what it was. It's like obviously a 70s mystery. The ending was super cheesy, super cheesy, and it's kind of a happy ending. Like they figure it out like within the last 20 pages. And I'm not very good at like reading. I haven't read a whole lot of thrillers and stuff, so I'm not really good at expecting, or like mysteries. I'm not good at expecting what's gonna happen or figuring it out before they tell you. And like when they told me the reveal, I was like who the guy was. Like I won't say that, because if you're hoping to read this book, but when they tell him who the guy is, I was like, oh. And I was kind of oblivious to that point, but but I'm pretty sure anybody else who like reads thrillers or like would guess it within like probably the first couple of pages. But it just depends on what you're reading it for. It was very entertaining. It was a quick read, read it in a day. But I'm really curious to see how this goes with the movie, or how the movie compares. I think it'll be really interesting because I haven't seen the movie since I was really young, so I'm curious to see how it compares to this, because like I said, there was no language. It was all pretty clean cut mystery, and so I'm curious to see what the movie will be like, because I feel like it's not going to be like that. But I'll check in with you guys later. I'm getting ready to watch the movie, and I have a prediction, because I just saw that it's Ryan Phillippe, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know, I knew his name. My prediction is that Ryan Phillippe is going to be the one that I hated in the book, Bobby, or whatever his name was. Gosh, I forgot already. Hold on, let me look. Barry. I think Ryan Phillippe is going to be Barry, Jennifer Love Hewitt's going to be Helen, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be Julie, and Freddie Mercury. No, Freddie Prinze Jr. is going to be Ray, who I really liked. So, we'll see. Predictions. It's happening. Okay, I haven't gotten really far, but I've just been watching the credits so far. And the guy who does Dawson's Creek did the screenplay for this. I didn't know that. Kevin Williamson, I guess he just did the first season of Dawson's Creek, but you probably don't care about that. But I think that's really interesting. Okay, bye. So there's been some minor differences, which I'm not going to count, because every book to movie thing, there's going to be minor differences that they change in the movie to tell the story better on screen, which I understand that, and so there's minor details that have changed, but the big main difference so far that I've noticed is, there's just been the first killing. The first killing has just happened, and it was gruesome, and there was no killing in the book. at all. Not even the people who did the thing were killed. So, and there's been a lot of language, and there was no language in the book. But this was also a 90s horror film. So, but I do think it's interesting that they took the book, but they changed the story a lot. I'm already seeing, and I can't talk about it yet because they haven't fully developed it yet, but I can see in ways they've massively changed the story to make it a horror movie instead of a mystery, as the book was. I think this would be categorized as horror. I have to look it up, but I feel like this is like a horror movie. But yeah, so I think it's interesting that they would take the title and take basic themes of the book, but then make it completely different. But I'll get to it when I finally know what's happening. But also, I forgot to talk about my predictions about the characters. Ryan Phillippe is the one of the guy that I didn't like in the book, and Freddie Prinze Jr. is the guy that I did like in the book. I just mixed up Sarah Michelle Gellar's character and Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, but so I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars just because I enjoyed it really a lot. I understand, like I've said before, that some people wouldn't like this because it was a mystery. And if you're expecting a horror like the movie was, it's nothing really like the movie. Have the characters, and that stayed pretty true to form. And they had some of that, but it wasn't deep into the family, which I understand is not the same as the movie can't be the same as a book. There's not enough time. So usually I don't even like to judge a movie by its book because my cat's just doing stuff. Because a movie and a book are completely different ways of telling the story. But for this video, examining the differences, they took the story and kind of just made it more of a horror. But overall, it was, I would say, if it was nothing like the book at all. The things that I would compare it to would be the characters were the same, they were same personality types, the same essence of the story happened where something happened and then someone sent them messages saying, I know what you did last summer. That was all similar. But storyline and what actually occurred was all very different. Overall, I think I would give the movie a 2 out of 5, a 3 out of 5, not because of its differences from the book, but just because it's a 90s horror movie and it's enjoyable to an extent, but it's not phenomenal. It wasn't a great movie, but it was enjoyable to watch. But I think I'd give it 2 or 3 stars. Overall, I liked the casting of the characters. I thought the way that they casted the characters was very well done. And yeah. So that's just my thoughts on this. If you want to go back and read the book, I highly recommend it. It was just a nice surprise. It was, if you want to read something that's kind of cheesy but lighthearted, but also have some sort of mystery element, I would highly recommend it. The movie was also good. If you have yet to see it, it's on Netflix. So I hope to be doing more videos about movies and books soon. I have a large array of books on my TBR, physical TBR, that I need to get through that are also from movies, and so I'd like to read them and watch the movie. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.